Hello everyone, I got asked the other day, or the other week, whenever it was, by a subscriber what would be good surplus masks or cheap surplus masks for some sort of scenario. And I'm assuming it's going to be sort of tear gas sort of thing, or very basic sort of industrial chemicals, nothing that's too dangerous, because as we said before, if something as dangerous as nerve gas is used, a mask alone won't protect you. You'll need all the protective gear on. So your chances of survival are quite slim. So what we're looking at here is basic sort of surplus masks you can get cheaply. I've got two masks here to demonstrate, and then I'm going to mention some others that you can get. So the first thing you want is a mask that takes 40mm filters. Both this Israeli civilian mask and the Russian GP5 take 40mm filters. And you want one ideally that takes 40mm STANAG filters, which are NATO filters, because you get STANAG and GOST. GOST is the Warsaw Pact one. The GP5 is designed to take GOST filters, but it also takes STANAGs. Some Russian masks you'll find only take GOST filters. And the difference is that STANAG filters are still made. I don't know if modern Russian 40mm filters since the fall of the Soviet Union are GOST or STANAG. I don't actually know which connector they use, but regardless, STANAG filters are much easier to get in the West. So get a STANAG compatible mask basically. Now a GP5 you can get between $5 and $10 US. If you look online, might be a bit more if you get it with a bag and everything else, but don't use the Russian filter, because at the very least it's expired and may not work. But there's a health risk with them as well that I've done videos on before. We don't have all the answers regarding GP5 filters. There's an asbestos risk of the older ones. The new ones might not have asbestos in, but there's a lot of, potentially not great things about them. So that's why I'd recommend, getting a STANAG compatible mask. But the GP5 itself still works if you get one in good condition. Very simple mask. It's a rubber hood, two eyepieces on either side, and at the bottom you've got a rubber exhale and intake valve with the 40mm filter thread. So unless it's been kept in bad conditions, the masks still work. And against sort of tear gas and things like that, with a new filter, they're perfect. Israeli masks, you can get them that have been made in the last sort of 20-30 years. Some of them go back at least as far as the 1980s. The newer they are, the better, but depending on how much you pay for them, depends on what sort of year of production they are. But again, the rubber should be good, so as long as rubber and all the bits are made properly, you can just get one of these and stick a new filter on it and they're good. Here I have a sealed Israeli filter. This is still within its 10-year shelf life by 1 year. And that will protect me from anything. So you can either get 40mm STANAG sort of NBC filters or industrial filters. As long as they go on, they'll protect you. Now, with these masks, as I was saying, these are just for sort of basic light threats or, something you'd use an industrial mask for. But these are fairly cheap surplus masks. This one probably goes anywhere from $10 to $50 depending on how new it is and what features are on it, because I think there's a few variations of this mask, but basically that's what you want. Now, another thing that this isn't universal because it will depend a bit on country to country, is depending on what country you're in, you can often get your old army's, sort of your old military surplus masks for a reasonable price. So you still want to follow the 40mm STANAG rule, but for example in the UK you can get S6s and S10s for not all that much. You can get S10s, I got one for once about £10 at a car boot sale that was dated 2009, just as they were switching to the GSR, in really good condition. Has a shelf life between 2019 and 2029, and it's a great mask. £10 is absolute steal. So there's all the ways that. In America you'll have M40 masks now that America's switched to the Avon M50, or it's in the process of switching to it. And lots of other nations will have similar things. You often have your current military service gas mask or older models that are on the surplus market for not very much money, which are often 40mm threaded filters and, compatible, and a very good mask for the price. So yeah, as a general rule, always go for 40mm STANAG, because they still make the filters for it and they're easy to get, not much money. If you think of it like a rifle, it's like saying you want to buy a rifle that's in 5.56 by 45 or 5.45 by 39. You know, you want it to be in a common caliber. Say you're buying a pistol, you want it in 9mm or 45 ACP. It's a bit like that. You don't want to buy, you know, a gun in a weird caliber and then not be able to find ammunition for it. Or as well, because this, you know, the filters expire faster than ammunition does. So yeah, that's about it. If you're not going down the route of getting industrial mask and just want it for light threats and tear gas and stuff, get a 40mm STANAG surplus mask. Either of these two will do, as long as you get one where the rubber's in good condition and still works. Otherwise, look for the military surplus mask your nation used sort of quite recently, and depending on your nation you can get ones in very good condition for not too much money. So hopefully that's useful for those of you wanting to know about cheap surplus masks that would actually work.